Forbes just released their 2025 list of the most powerful women in sports, and Caitlin Clark isn't just on it, she's dominating it. Sitting at number 4 overall, Clark also claims the top spot as the highest ranked athlete. She isn't merely a standout player, she's redefining the financial ceiling for female athletes. Last season, she turned an $8.1 million haul into a seismic shift in what women in sports can earn, and yet, not everyone is thrilled. Wnba Wilson, ranked 15th on the same list, has had reactions that are nothing short of explosive. This isn't just casual frustration, it's a clear pattern of envy that began with Clark's landmark Nike deal and seems to have reached a boiling point. The numbers tell one story, and Wilson's very public reactions tell another. Before we dive deeper, here's a question for you. Why do you think Wnba Wilson is so openly envious of Caitlin Clark? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's talk numbers. The typical WNBA rookie takes home roughly $60,000 in their first year. Clark, she walked away with $8.1 million. Yes, you read that right. These figures forced even the most experienced players to rethink everything they believed about earning potential in women's basketball. While her WNBA salary was modest, rookie minimum sits around $64,000. Clark's real earnings came off the court. While other first-year players were budgeting groceries and splitting rent, Clark was negotiating deals in boardrooms worth more than the valuation of some franchises. Her Nike contract set a historic precedent: 8 years, $28 million guaranteed. No WNBA player had ever reached that level before. Not except most veterans hadn't even seen a single endorsement worth a fraction of that sum. Clark had already secured generational wealth before she even stepped onto a professional court, and that was just the beginning. Next came Gatorade, elevating Clark to the same tier of endorsement prestige as LeBron James and Serena Williams. No WNBA athlete had ever landed a partnership of this magnitude. Gatorade doesn't just sponsor anyone, they back athletes who can move products and shape culture. Then came Wilson Sporting Goods, cementing her position as the face of basketballs and sports equipment across major retailers, their first such deal since Michael Jordan. Every time someone sees Clark's image on basketballs in a store, revenue flows directly into her pockets, and it doesn't stop there. Clark's speaking engagements quickly became another staggering source of income. Corporate events and conferences started paying her fees that dwarf what some WNBA players earn in an entire season. Caitlin Clark isn't just breaking records on the court, she's shattering expectations off it, creating a blueprint for the next generation of female athletes. Brands weren't just paying Caitlin Clark for her skills on the court, they were investing in her ability to captivate audiences and generate buzz for their events. The numbers tell the real story of her earning power. Games featuring Clark saw viewership soar, jumping 400% compared to typical WNBA broadcasts. Television networks began competing fiercely for the rights to air Fever games, while advertisers scrambled to secure commercial slots during her appearances. Revenue streams that were once virtually non-existent in women's basketball suddenly became major profit drivers. The surge wasn't limited to screens. Attendance at Fever games skyrocketed. Cities hosting her matches reported record ticket sales, and merchandise flew off the shelves wherever Clark played. Local businesses near arenas saw a noticeable uptick in traffic on game days. Clark wasn't just dominating on the court, she was fueling entire local economies. Her social media presence only amplified her impact. Millions of followers engaged with every post, creating marketing reach that traditional sports sponsorships rarely achieve. Brands quickly realized Clark could connect with audiences who had never previously shown interest in women's basketball. Forbes made it clear just how big the financial gap had grown. Clark's $8.1 million earnings dwarfed the next closest player, Sabrina Ionescu, who made $6.3 million. That difference reflects the premium companies were willing to pay for Clark's rare combination of elite talent and unmatched marketability. Corporate America saw what fans already knew. Clark has an X factor that can't be taught or duplicated. Her influence extended far beyond any individual stat sheet. She brought new fans into the sport while maintaining respect from longtime supporters, proving that female athletes could command serious money when performance meets personality. Clark didn't just set records, she redefined what's possible for women in basketball in terms of commercial appeal and market value. But not everyone was thrilled. Some veterans watched Clark's rise with growing resentment, and that tension was only building. Aja Wilson's envy didn't appear overnight. It had been simmering for months, spilling out through pointed social media posts and interviews. The Nike contract was the first trigger. While Clark celebrated her historic deal, Wilson took to social media to question why rookies were receiving opportunities veterans had to earn over years. She never named Clark directly, but the timing left little doubt about who she was targeting. That early spark of jealousy has only intensified as Clark's star continues to shine brighter. Aja Wilson began posting old photos with Nike executives, subtly reminding everyone that she too had established brand connections. What started as a quiet nod quickly escalated into a much more noticeable campaign over the following weeks. Wilson's social media became a constant stream of content highlighting veteran achievements, rookie expectations, and the importance of paying your dues. Each post felt like a direct reaction to the flood of headlines surrounding Caitlin Clark. Her Instagram stories turned into a running critique of media hype and what she saw as undeserved attention. The unofficial "I Have a Shoe Too" campaign became her most overt attempt to reclaim the spotlight. Wilson started posting detailed photos of her Nike signature shoe from every angle, tagging Nike alongside posts about veteran loyalty and long-term partnerships. She even dug into throwback content from her shoe launches, something she had rarely done before Clark's rise. Then came Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year announcement, which seemed to push Wilson even further. Her congratulations for Clark lasted a single sentence, cold, brief, and void of any personal sentiment. Compare that to the multi-paragraph celebrations Wilson usually posts when other players win awards. Historically, she's gone all out supporting peers, which made her muted response to Clark glaringly obvious. The timing couldn't have been worse. Wilson's Nike signature shoe wasn't selling, while Clark's endorsements were dominating sports business headlines. Retail reports confirmed the disparity. Wilson's shoes sat on shelves, while anything associated with Clark sold out instantly. The contrast between Wilson's stagnant brand and Clark's explosive marketability became impossible to ignore. Even her corporate speaking engagements became a platform for comparison. For the first time, Wilson began sharing backstage photos from events and referencing appearance fees in a way that felt forced. She had been doing corporate bookings for years without publicizing them, but Clark's high-profile speaking deals made Wilson suddenly want her audience to know every detail. Her social media posts increasingly questioned Clark's impact on the sport. She highlighted veteran scoring records, long-term WNBA viewership, and player contributions in ways that read like thinly veiled responses to Clark's growing influence. Phrases like real impact and sustained excellence started showing up repeatedly, subtly undermining Clark's achievements. Her commentary on media attention became sharper as the season went on, one with pointed digs about hype versus substance and proving oneself over time. This pattern makes Wilson's underlying issue clear. It's not about basketball or team success. Her frustration stems from watching someone else become the face of women's basketball almost overnight. After years of building her brand and cementing herself as a cornerstone of the league, Wilson was suddenly eclipsed by Clark's rapid rise, a shift that clearly struck a deep nerve. Aja Wilson's reactions reveal a veteran athlete struggling to share the spotlight with someone who is not only more talented, but also far more marketable. Her passive-aggressive posts, lukewarm public congratulations, and subtle digs about media hype all expose a player threatened by progress and the changing dynamics of the sport. The Forbes 2025 rankings became the tipping point, one up bringing months of simmering envy into full view. Forbes doesn't hand out these rankings lightly. Their methodology digs deep, examining real numbers that matter: earnings, social media influence, endorsement deals, and overall cultural impact across 5 key sectors. Caitlin Clark dominated every single category, leaving even the most seasoned competitors scrambling to keep pace. The formula heavily weighs financial power and industry-wide influence, analyzing team valuations, company revenue, media mentions, and engagement metrics. Clark's results were impossible to ignore. Landing at number 4 overall, Clark became the highest-ranked athlete among all women on the list, surpassing tennis legends who've spent decades building brands and Olympic champions with years of international acclaim. In a single year, Clark accomplished what many athletes chase over entire careers. Her social media reach went through the roof, outperforming established stars across multiple sports. While raw follower counts tell part of the story, it's engagement rates that reveal true influence. And Clark's posts consistently generated interactions that brands could convert into measurable marketing value. Clark's impact extended far beyond traditional basketball audiences. She drew in new demographics, families who had never watched the WNBA, day, young girls inspired to pick up a basketball, and corporate executives suddenly noticing the untapped profit potential of women's sports. Forbes specifically highlighted Clark's ability to drive revenue beyond her personal earnings. Fever Games experienced massive spikes in ticket sales. Local businesses saw increased foot traffic, and cities hosting games even saw boosts in tourism. Broadcast networks fought over rights to air her games, proving that her presence alone could move markets. Clark's influence didn't stop at basketball. She made waves in Pro-Am golf tournaments and other sports events, attracting mainstream media attention and expanding her crossover appeal in ways Wilson had never achieved despite years of trying to grow her brand. Her endorsement portfolio set her apart from typical single-sport athletes. Nike, Gatorade, and Wilson each approached Clark with distinct strategies, recognizing her ability to reach audiences well beyond traditional basketball fans. These deals mirrored marketing approaches usually reserved for global superstars competing in multiple sports or entertainment industries. With an estimated $8.1 million in annual earnings, Clark signaled a fundamental shift in how female athletes are valued professionally. Forbes emphasized that this wasn't just personal income, it was proof of what's possible when exceptional talent meets strategic marketing and perfect cultural timing. Caitlin Clark didn't just break records, she redefined the earning potential and influence of women's basketball players on a global scale. The Forbes ranking confirmed what basketball fans already knew. Caitlin Clark had become the most powerful figure in women's sports just 1 year after turning pro. Her position above countless other nationally recognized athletes, many of whom had spent years building their careers, highlighted the unprecedented speed of her rise. Forbes essentially validated the impact Clark has had on the game and its culture. This recognition followed her Time Magazine Athlete of the Year award and the Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year honor, forming a streak of mainstream acknowledgement no WNBA player had ever experienced. Clark's presence isn't just about basketball, it's a cultural and commercial phenomenon that has reset expectations for female athletes. In 2024 alone, she accounted for 26.5% of the WNBA's total economic activity while securing endorsements that cemented her influence in the sports business world. A'ja Wilson's reaction to Clark being crowned the most powerful female athlete by Forbes revealed everything about her mindset. Clark's recognition proves that raw talent combined with authentic personality generates unstoppable momentum. Wilson's jealous outbursts show what happens when veteran players see their status challenged. The numbers are undeniable. Clark drives revenue and cultural impact in a way no one else does in women's basketball. Looking ahead to the 2026 season, Fever fans are witnessing the building of a dynasty around a player whose influence stretches far beyond the court. Clark's reach extends into boardrooms and living rooms across the country, shaping the sport and its perception in ways previously unimaginable. Wilson can keep posting passive-aggressive content and public rants about recognition she feels entitled to, but Clark's impact is already rewriting the playbook for what female athletes can achieve, both financially and culturally. So here's the question: why do you think A'ja Wilson is so envious of Caitlin Clark? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on the screen and we'll see you in the next one.